Fola the barber always used the hair of the
Who's that?
children he barbs to pay his sacrifices for wealth. This continued until he met Baba Sheyi and his son also. He never saw what was coming. Before you continue watching this interesting video, kindly take a second to subscribe. TalesByT brings you very interesting and life-changing stories ranging from family-related stories, work-life related stories, relationships, and many more. Have you hit the subscribe button? Yay! Now grab your tea or popcorn. Let's continue. In the heartbeat of the capital city of Lagos, Nigeria, stood a high-class barbing salon named FOLA BARBS. This barbing salon was open to only adult male, and they loved it because it was indeed first class, organized, quality, and speed. Men of caliber trooped in and out per hour. This barbing shop was the talk of the town. So many discussions are tied to this barbing salon. Some say it's questionable the kind of growth they've experienced just in 12 months. Others say it is grace. Some choose to be silent. Rumors fly around that it's a cult center, but who knows? This barbing salon was owned by Mr. Fola, a very humble and cheerful man in face. But indeed, no one knows how desperate the heart of a man can be. Mr. Fowler, the celebrated man of today, who owns the most talked about saloon, was a broke fellow who lived in Ajegunle. He couldn't even afford a day meal. On some days, he stayed without food. On some days, he begged for the remnants from Mama Yao that sells food near his house. He always looked tattered with his one Adio Mama shirt, one black trouser, and one slippers, palm slippers he inherited from his father, the only property he had to his name. Yes, he was the only child of his parents, and they died a long time ago, leaving absolutely nothing for him. Fast forward to today, he lives the life. He's married with a son, has houses and properties, and of course, owns the most talked about salon. Everything has just happened within 2 years. Then there is a devout pastor, popularly called Baba Sheyi, loved by his members for his cheerful and loving spirit. The man loved God, and God has granted him the gift of discernment. One Sunday, a church member offered him food as a thank you gift, but as he opened it to eat, he immediately sensed danger and he threw away the food. The next Sunday, when the members saw him standing strong and healthy,
Pastor,
she
please
fell
help me.
and
I'm begging
confessed to
you.
her poisoning the food. He is known for his strong values and not to be tried with by dark powers. He is married to Mrs. Fumi and they have a 7-year-old son. Awesome. Awesome is a bright, brilliant, and smart child. For the last session, he came out as the best student in his class, and his father promised to give him a special boy treat. Every day, he reminded his father to ensure to keep to that promise. Whilst in Fola Barbs, some practices remained strange. They had only two colors of apron they wear for their clients, color black and color red. The logo of the salon had skeletal bones attached to it. If you don't look closely, you won't notice at all. Also, they do not dispose of the hairs but store them up in bags. Mr. Fowler said it's because he wants to safeguard customers' hair so it will be burned instead, not just discarded. The workers were always told to close by 7 p.m. Unlike barbing salons, they did not do night barbings. Twice, two gatemen ran away because of what they experienced, but Mr. Fowler covered it up by saying they stole from the shop and sacked them. Also, there is a secret room inside Mr. Fowler's office that only he can open. Not even his closest staff have ever seen it open or the key to even open it. Mr. Fowler would always send all workers away by 7 p.m. and he would stay back on most days. To do what? Only God knows. Only God can tell. Little did people know that Mr. Fola was using their hairs to make wealth. Once it was 9 p.m., Mr. Fola took the hairs for that day from the bags, opened the secret room, and offered it as sacrifices. The more hair he sacrificed, the more visibility the business got. He must submit all hairs that are barbed from the salon that day with none missing. The deity has made Mr. Fola understand that if for any reason he hides any hair barbed in the salon, that day judgment would befall him. One day, a very popular celebrity ran mad after he barbed his hair at FOLA BARBS and went home. Some people said all manner of things, but there was no evidence to connect the happening to the shop. He died down in no time. Another that happened was a man who lost his memory when he went for his interview, but all the time there is no way, evidence, or proof to connect it to Mr. Fola. Workers noticed that Mr. Fola didn't bring his 1-year-old son to the shop for barbing, and they questioned him. But in his usual calm, innocent way, he explained that there was no need since he could just cut the boy's hair at home. But me and you know why he isn't bringing that boy to the shop. That's how day by day, Mr. Fola kept offering human hairs as sacrifices for his wealth. But one day, the deity said it needs young minds, young brains, and Mr. Fola is now permitted to open a children's section for this agenda. To that effect, Mr. Fola announced that the salon will open for boy children only, and there will be a heavy discount for the first 1 month. You needed to see all Lagos chick parents. They all planned for their sons to go get a Fola's haircut. In schools, children talked in classes. People started booking sessions. 200 kids slots filled up in 48 hours. Mrs. Fumi went to her friend's shop to pick her orders, and she overheard other women talking about the opening for children. She thought in her heart that this would be perfect for her husband to use as a special treat for their son. She went back home and immediately shared her thoughts with her husband. Immediately Awesome heard it. He said, "Yes, mommy, I want to go. All my class boys said their parents have booked a slot for them." Thought Baba Sheyi. Everyone is heading there. Broad is the way that leads to hell, oh. I'm not comfortable with this, he said. Mrs. Fumi frowned. Oko me. Let's do this for this boy now. You promised him so. This is the latest barbering shop and they have really good haircuts. After much pleading from his wife and his son, he agreed to take them during the weekend. Awesome immediately was the happiest person in the world. The weekend was here. Mrs. Fumi dressed her boy in cool outfits and put him in the car. She waved him goodbye as they left with his dad. They got to the barbing shop and Baba Sheyi was really impressed with the level of organization despite the number of people. He got to their turn and they began to barb Awesome. Baba Sheyi took that time to glance around. He then noticed the only black and red aprons, but he refused to think much about it. He also saw how they packed the heads in bags. When he questioned the barber that was barbing the son, the guy assured him that they were tied like that just because it was going to be burned by the end of the day and for the safety of all their clients. Baba Sheyi became a bit at rest, even though he was still skeptical about it. That night, for the first time, Awesome had a strange dream and woke up screaming. Baba Sheyi's wife, Mrs. Fumi, ran to his room to check what happened, and he explained how he saw a scary man scraping his hair. The mother hugged him and assured him that it was just a dream and it was nothing serious. But the father was not having it. He just sat down, staring deep into space and thinking about this horrific dream. Life continued, the hustle and bustle of Lagos, but it was not the same for the family of Baba Sheyi. Osom had become so stubborn, he wasn't reading any longer. He dropped from first to 15th in position. It was terrible, and he always had nightmares. He would always shout from his sleep. Baba Sheyi and his wife couldn't understand what was going on, why things changed all of a sudden. They only hoped and trusted God it would get better. But one fateful night, Awesome slept as usual and all of a sudden started screaming from his sleep. The father and mother ran to the room. All he kept saying was, "Leave my hair, don't scrape it, leave me alone, leave me alone." The father left there angry in his spirit and began to pray and pray and pray. As he prayed, he fell into deep sleep, and when he did so, he found himself at the FOLA barbing shop, just standing, watching them barb and pack hairs into nylon. He got an instruction to go there and barb his hair, but he should ensure to take the hair from the salon. He woke up from this revelation and remembered when the first nightmare of his son started, which was the day he took his son to barb at Fola's hair. Whilst in Fola's hair, Mr. Fola had recruited a new staff member that morning called John. John was exceptionally skilled, so Mr. Fowler hired him. When Baba Sheyi came to barb, he demanded he wanted quick work and didn't want to wait in line, so they called the new barber to attend to him. After he was done, he asked John to give him the hair. John said he wanted to take it for burning, but Baba Sheyi insisted that he loves burning his hair by himself. John didn't know anything deep went on with the hair, so why not? He gave Baba Sheyi his hair on his request. By night, Mr. Fola came to offer sacrifices to his deity, as usual, but the deity was not smiling. The deity questioned Mr. Fola, saying, "Where is all the hairs? This is not all." Mr. Fola argued that that was all. The deity said, "No, you had 150 clients today, but the hairs here are 149. Mr. Fola had to get the record and discovered it was really 150 people. "Ah!" he screamed, "I'm doomed." He begged the deity to give him 24 hours and he will find the hair. 12 hours it is, said the deity, else you will run mad. The next morning, Mr. Fola called an emergency staff meeting and asked in fury, "Which of you allowed a customer to go out with his hair?" Everywhere was quiet, and he said, "Answer me before I get to my limit." And the new barber, John, shaking, said, "I barbed a man yesterday, and he said he likes burning his hair himself, so I packed it and gave it to him." Mr. Fowler roared in fury, immediately sacked the guy. He asked for details of the man, and through their customer record, he found details. He immediately called his boys and ordered them to perform a search in the house of the man for the hair. Baba Sheyi was in the church office. Mrs. Fumi was at work, and their son in school. The boys broke into the house, turned everywhere upside down, but found nothing. Oops! The hair was with Baba Sheyi at his office, not at home. They reported to Mr. Fola that nothing was found, but they saw he has a church and they copied the address. Mr. Fola was with so much fury. Time was ticking. 2 hours left. He ordered the boys to go to the church. They should do anything and bring the hair to him. While Baba Sheyi at his office remembered the hair, took it from his bag and got a feeling of burning it. Immediately, he took it to the courtyard and set it on fire. After it burned to ashes, he went back to his office to pray. All of a sudden, he heard noise. He jumped out of his office to the courtyard to see boys holding sticks. They said they are from Fola's hair, and it was not permitted to carry out hair from the shop. They have come to quietly request for the hair. He took them to the barn and showed them that he just burnt the hair. Ah, shouted the leader. Shay, what will happen to Oga now? This is a failed operation. They returned to Mr. Fola, who was pacing in front of his shop. They told him the hair got burnt already by Baba Sheyi. He screamed at the top of his voice. The time clocked, and he ran, pulled his clothes, and started shouting. They initiated me, oh. They said they will help me make it. I joined them because I had nothing. I made a covenant to use people's hair to make wealth. He kept shouting and confessing as he walked the streets of Lagos. Lagos City broke loose. The mighty, busy, talked about most shop was a cult center. What? Baba Sheyi prayed over his son fervently, and in weeks his son became well, picked up again in school, and became the awesome they knew. Fola's head became a dead zone. People say the deity still lives inside, so no one dares to get there. No one has bought the property either. It's a dead zone. Fola still walks the streets mad, confessing all day long. This story teaches you to read signs, be discerning, conscious, watch, and pray. Gaining wealth is a process from hard work. The devil does not give good gifts, only God can.